All right, I believe we are live. So let me refresh in the Facebook event and make sure that we're streaming over there. Oh, there it is. All right, so we should be live in Facebook in the event. Please let us know in the comments if you can see us, I believe, and hear us, obviously. I believe the comments should stream back here. Okay, great. We've got our first comment here in StreamYard. We are using StreamYard. We're kind of new to it, so we're going to figure this out. We're live, baby. All right, great. Awesome. So let's hang out for just another minute or two to give everyone a chance to join the room. Let us know in the comments from where you're joining so we can say hello and give everyone a chance to find their way here. Okay, great. Awesome. I see Detroit. I see a lot of people saying they're here. Awesome. Texas, Detroit, Canada. All right. Let me just check over here on the Facebook side. And I think I need, whoa. How do I? Okay, great. Let me mute over there. Awesome. We can't see everybody's name. Wow, Mike, Doylestown. That's where I'm from. We can't see everyone's name over in StreamYard, but we can see the comments. So that's cool. Switzerland, Scotland. All right, we've got folks from all over the place joining us today. That is fantastic. Thanks for staying up if you're somewhere where it's already late. France, Pakistan, Oregon. Awesome. Okay, cool. We are, let's see how many people are over here in Facebook, 273 and climbing. So let's hang out for just another minute. We've got California, Philippines, UK. I love it. Great. Okay, we've got quite an international audience today. And it looks like we're starting to stabilize. So I think that we can go ahead and get started. Interrupting my afternoon nap. Well, we appreciate that. If we haven't met yet, I'm Chase Buckner. I'm the Director of Marketing at HighLevel. And today I'm joined by Hassan Ahmed. He is from Meta. And so together we are going to cover how Facebook lead ads and the conversion ad type, when joined with HighLevel, create an incredibly powerful way to generate leads for your agency, for your clients, for your business, maybe if you're a business owner. And I believe that we should be ready to get going here. Let me just take one final look. Okay, we're up over 300. We're still climbing, but first off, you will get the recording to this, so don't worry. We'll send that out tomorrow. We always get that question, usually many times throughout a webinar. You will get the recording. We will send you some other materials that we're going to talk about as well. So don't worry, that'll go out tomorrow. You'll get the full recap. But Hassan, do you want to say hi to everyone? Are we ready to get started on your end?
Yeah, we're ready. Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you. Hassan Ahmed here. I am part of the product partnerships team here at Meta, working with fantastic partners like HighLevel, specifically on lead ads and conversion leads. And we'll get into what that is and how you may benefit from it. So looking forward to getting into it.
Awesome. I'm really excited about today because I think when I left the agency world, I don't know if the conversion ad type even existed. Obviously, we ran a bunch of lead ads, but I'm not sure when that ad type actually came into be. And I know now it's an incredible way to really improve campaigns. So what I'd love to know right off the bat, and I think Hassan would get, it would be beneficial for him as well to see, how many folks in the audience right now are already running lead ads? Give us a 1 in the chat if you're already running lead ads for either yourself or for your clients. Let's just take a quick poll. And why don't you throw a 0 if you're not, just so we can see kind of what the mix is. Yes, it is being recorded. I saw somebody ask that again, so don't worry, you'll get the replay tomorrow. Okay, great. Seeing a bunch of 1s come through. I do, but not active now. Okay. Cool. All right. Somebody threw a 12 in there. I guess they're like a super Facebook lead ads user. I see some 0s. Okay, so we've got a mix, a good mix. Great. So with that, let's sort of start at the beginning with a quick recap of what Facebook lead ads are. I'm going to fire up my screen share and pass it over to Hassan. So let me let's present a screen share here, and we're gonna share this screen. And please let us know if you can see this first slide. Okay, I can see it on the screen. Fantastic. Cool. So Hassan, why don't you take it away from here?
Fantastic. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking through lead ads, what it is. I think a lot of people in this forum have experience with lead ads, but for the folks that don't, what are the benefits of lead ads? And then really get into the second part of lead ads, which is conversion leads or lead ads with conversions API with Meta. So with that, Chase, if we can go into the next slide.
Okay, let me flip this forward. Oh, looks like I need to do it from over here. There we go.
Fantastic. So what is lead ads? So as an advertiser, lead ads is a type of ad that you can place on a meta surface that enables your potential customers to express their interest and their desire to learn more about your product or service in just a few taps. These are forms that are often pre-filled for your potential customers based on their Facebook accounts that they have in terms of their name, number, email, and depending on how you've set up your lead ad, there can be additional radio button questions or multiple choice questions that they can answer. We typically suggest keeping the lead ads form nice and simple so that you as an advertiser can receive interest and information, contact information from your potential customer. Lead ad campaigns are most useful for advertisers that are talking about or sharing information about services, mostly services that basically you can't go and purchase on a website or online. These are services and even products that have incredibly long sales cycles where once you receive interest from your customers, you can reach out to them, you can nurture those leads, you can perform your marketing activities with them, and convince them to go ahead and buy a product or go with you for a certain service that you're providing. And so because of these reasons, there are certain industry verticals that can benefit from lead ads greater than others. And four of those are professional services in no particular order again. An example of professional services could be that you're providing IT support services to your potential customers, and you'd like to get the message across through a meta platform that could be Facebook or Instagram, that you're a new or an established company providing services in X, Y, and Z. And if you'd like a quote, or if you'd like to learn more or just have a discussion, send us your information so that we can reach out to you. Similarly, I think automotive is a fantastic example. You may be thinking that with this new go-to-market trend within the automotive industry, where you can go ahead and buy certain vehicles online, there's still an element of sharing your new incentives that may be coming out. A lot of you may be scrolling through a Meta platform and you may have come across this new lease offer that your dealership down the road is offering. And this is a great way for dealerships, automotive industries to get interest from customers, to be able to then reach out to them, schedule test drives, even if at the end of the day you do go onto a website to buy the car. Similar reasons, education and vertical, just getting a lot of those informations and being able to talk to them, understand more about their needs and requirements before sending out a quote. So with that, Chase, if we could go over to the next slide and really talk about, why does this integration matter?
Absolutely. And before I hit that next slide button, I see questions like, Jeff, does it work good for HVAC roofing? Absolutely, Jeff. So back when I was running an agency before I joined the team at HighLevel, we ran lead ads for all sorts of industries and really found them the most efficient way to generate leads because as was just pointed out, Facebook Meta already has the information of your profile, right? So we don't need to re-enter information into a lead form when we're running lead ads. It's literally just a couple of taps and the person on Facebook can go ahead and claim that offer. So it works fantastically to run sort of offer-based ads where someone in just a couple of taps can express their interest. The form gets submitted, and in a minute, we'll talk about how that form automatically comes into HighLevel and what we can do with it from there. So let me flip over to why the integration matters.
Fantastic. So we talked about the benefits of lead ads. We talked about some of the industries, and I'd just like to go back to double down on Chase's comment. I think the four verticals and industries that I talked about are by no means encapsulating every industry. I think it works fantastic for any industry in which you think getting contact information for your customer can be beneficial in terms of you nurturing those leads. However, why does it matter? Now we're moving towards why does the conversion leads integration or connecting your CRM via CAPI matter? Well, based on all of the marketing surveys that we've come across are conversations with advertisers. And if as an advertiser, you go back and actually think about what you're looking to do, at the end of the day, you're trying to get a lead that you can reach out to, and you hope that they go ahead and spend money with you and purchase the service or product that you're providing to them. And because of those reasons, at the end of the day, measuring business success, the number one key factor in our surveys has always been the quality of leads that have been generated. Now, in this case, the quality of leads could be multiple ways of generating those leads. They could be through meta platforms. They could be through going door to door to get those leads. But at the end of the day, it's the quality of leads that help you go and nurture them and actually generate revenue for your company. And so if you're using Meta to generate those leads as one avenue to get those leads, how do you ensure that the quality of the leads increase? And that's basically what we're going to get into. But before we do that, I wanted to set the stage in terms of how important it is to not just generate leads, but increase the quality of leads. In fact, the second result on this survey is outbound marketing effectiveness. And in my mind, that goes fairly hand in hand with the quality of leads. With a good outbound marketing strategy, you'll generate higher quality of leads and vice versa. A good lead, you probably need less amount of content to be able to convince somebody who's already fairly well aware of your product and is already interested in it. So now that we've talked about what lead ads is and what is the number one critical factor in not only determining the success of a lead ads campaign, but for your business, let's go to the next slide and talk about what needs to be done on a Meta front to be able to generate higher quality leads through Meta. And the simple answer for that is advertisers need to integrate their CRM, in this case, HighLevel CRM or the CRM of their choice with Meta. Now, you may be thinking, some of the folks on this call who already have lead ads may be thinking, well, I'm already doing that. I've already got my CRM connected to Meta. And that may be correct, but that's one key component of it. So the first component of this is CRM sync for lead retrieval. And what that means is that once you've created a lead ads campaign on a Meta surface, be it for example, Facebook or Instagram, leads are being generated on what we call as the Meta Ads Manager. You need to connect your HighLevel CRM with Meta's Ad Manager so that every time a lead is generated in real time, it flows through from Meta into the HighLevel CRM. And this is probably the first step that has been completed by mostly, if you're on this call, you probably completed this and you're leveraging lead ads. However, that's where the knowledge kind of stops in terms of Meta. How do we ensure that we're generating higher quality leads for you? Well, for that, we need to go ahead and complete the second component of this, which is CRM integration via what Meta calls conversions API, so that Meta can actually receive data back from your CRM. So in the first component, the source of the leads was Meta, and the destination was your CRM. In the second component, the source of data is your CRM in terms of what happened to that lead. Did it actually go ahead and did they go ahead and buy that product, or where did it drop off in the funnel? And the source of the destination is Meta. Once those two components are done, we go to the third component, which is when you're setting up your lead ads product within Meta Ads Manager, you have the option to optimize for the quality of leads that are being generated. So these are the three major components. And I think the next slide will help you understand a little bit better of why the second and third components matter. So as part of the journey of a lead ads data, let's assume you've set up a lead ads on a Meta platform, and your potential customer sees your ad. In this case, you're providing some dental insurance, and you can switch to a better dental coverage in this case. They see your ad, they're interested, they want to lower their rates. They put in their information so that somebody from your sales team can reach out to them, let them know what the difference in rates are, how the coverage changes. That lead is then sent from Meta into HighLevel CRM. And that's it. That's where Meta's knowledge of that lead stops today. We don't have any information in terms of what happened afterwards. All we have information on is who are the type of people that are more likely to see this ad and put their contact information in. But that may or may not generate high quality leads in terms of how many of those people actually went ahead and switched over to in this case, the dental coverage, the new dental coverage that's being provided. And so that's why the second and third components that I mentioned on the last slide are so important, because once you receive that lead in HighLevel CRM, you can use all the tools that HighLevel provides to you to be able to perform marketing automation. You can send newsletters to them. You can probably send quotes to them. You can hop onto sales calls to them using telephony integrations. You can assign them to a certain salesperson and really work towards nurturing your leads. And in that case, some of those leads may drop out at the marketing qualified stage. Some of them may drop out in the sales qualified stage. Some of them probably convert into moving over. And as you go down that, as you go down that funnel, the number of leads gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And what we're looking for is, for every lead that we generate, what was the pattern? What happened once it went from a raw lead to a marketing qualified lead? We'd like to get that notification. When they went from marketing qualified to sales qualified, we'd like to get that notification. And if we don't get a notification afterwards, we can assume that lead kind of dropped out in that stage. So that, using the conversions API, we get these triggers generated from your CRM into Meta that we can then feed into our ad optimization tool. And then the third component, where you actually go ahead and tell Meta that you now like to optimize your lead ads towards quality. The leads that you'll get moving forward will basically be higher quality leads. With that, we can go on to the next slide and talk about how do we define what a higher quality lead looks like for you specifically. So we've talked about option one. Option one is basically just running a lead ads form, and this will maximize the number of instant forms that are being submitted, the number of contacts in the instant forms that are being submitted. Option two is what we're really interested in, which is higher quality leads. Well, how do you define what type of a lead is higher quality for you? Because let's suppose you're generating 100 leads and only 5 of them actually go ahead and buy that product. That number is fairly low to go ahead and optimize your ads towards it, because that may significantly, let's say, reduce the addressable market for you. So for you, depending on which industry you're in, you can go ahead and you can optimize your campaign to reach a specific stage in your sales funnel. So the way you may probably have your CRM set up is, after a new lead comes in, you've probably got custom stages after new lead, depending on how you go ahead and nurture your product or nurture your sales cycle. And that could be either 4 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps. It could be different for each of you. And you can go ahead and say, hey, I want to go ahead and optimize my campaign so that in the case of the dental coverage that I saw, such that the customers, that express interest, they at least go towards expressing their interest in receiving their quotes, and we can send over their quotes. Whether or not they go ahead and buy it may be a different thing, but I'd like to at least get them to a stage where they're comfortable in receiving quotes from us and discussing what their options are, because I feel like I can go ahead and convince them to switch over at that point. So you can really tailor how the campaigns will work for you and what stage you'd like to optimize your campaign for. It could be even higher in the funnel. It could be as simple as saying, hey, I'd like anybody who is interested in receiving my marketing materials, and he's opened my marketing materials and he's interacted with our marketing folks or our sales folks. That's what I want to optimize for. So again, it depends on you.
Hassan,
Yep,
if I can just jump in, just looking at the comments, I want to clarify a couple of things. One, yes, the recording will be sent out to everybody. Don't worry, you'll get that via email. And two, we are going to walk through exactly how to hook this up in just a minute. So sit tight. I see a lot of people asking, but like, how do I actually do it? We're going to go through it step by step in just a sec. But what we really want to make sure that we understand at this point is why we do this, right? And so what we're saying is we can actually tell Facebook what a conversion means to us specifically, right? In the past, it was just kind of like, oh, we want people to convert. Well, what does that mean? For one business, it means filling out this form. For another business, it means booking a call. And so we get to define that, and we can actually use pipeline stages in HighLevel, which we'll talk about in a second. But really what we're at this point is understanding the why. We want to send information back to Meta that says, hey, of all these leads that got generated, this portion of them are ideal for us. Find more of those and show our ad to more people like that. And so let me flip to this next slide, and I'll swing it back to you.
Great. Yeah, another 2 slides and we'll get into the exact steps. So hold on tight. One of the questions that some of you may be thinking about is are there certain prerequisites for it? Short answer for that is no, anybody can use it. However, because this is an ad optimization algorithm, and as you can imagine, the more data that's fed into the algorithm, the better the results, we recommend that advertisers who are generating at least 200 leads per month on this through Meta perform this integration, because they're the ones who are going to see the maximum value. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't complete this integration if you're generating less than 200 leads per month on Meta. The quality, the percentage of quality may be lower for you compared to somebody who's generating more. And then the second question that is often asked by advertisers is, can I use higher quality, or can I optimize my ads to generate higher quality leads without the CRM Conversions API integration? The answer is yes. I mean, our ads manager and events manager will allow you to do that. But as we talked about, because we just don't have the right amount of signals, the quality that you'll get is definitely going to be lower than if you do go ahead and make this connection. So with that, we can go over to some of the benefits, like what will happen once you complete this integration. Well, based on a study that we conducted less than a month ago, there's been advertisers who go from simply using lead ads to now optimizing towards quality. They see a 16% reduction in cost per quality lead compared to ads using the regular lead ads performance goal that most people are using. And most importantly, the reason why we're doing this, you can expect to see on average 21% increase in the rate of converting a lead to a quality leads, or in simple words, the amount of leads converting to an actual sale increases by 21% after this integration.
Wow, that's awesome. This is what I was most excited to see, is the fresh data from Meta on how effective these are. Imagine just being able to reduce your cost by 16% overnight. And again, we're going to get to the step-by-step of how to do this. HighLevel makes it super easy, no code. You don't have to have an engineer to work with the API. And so, but just look at this. I mean, imagine if you could just reduce the cost of your leads by 16%, or your conversions, I should say, and then increase the quality by 21%. And I think that's really what we're after here, right? When we're getting leads off Facebook, in my experience, it's very affordable. We get a lot of leads, but we're always looking for how do we increase the quality of these leads. And this is how we do it, by feeding this data back to Meta.
Agreed. And last slide before we get into the actual integration, I just wanted to share with you some of the case studies that we've done with actual advertisers and sharing their results with you guys after the consent. Is obviously you can see the numbers over here. And while the average was shared in the previous slide, for example, 21% is the average increase you can expect in terms of leads converting into a sales. We've got Mira Clinic here in the center that actually saw a 48% increase in more qualified leads, which is huge. So really depending on the amount of data that's being fed to Meta, the industry that you're working in, how you had set up, how you go ahead and set up your integration through HighLevel and ensure that it's correct, which is where HighLevel comes in, can really basically highlight how successful you'll be. And at the bottom here, you can see that also the costs per qualified leads are going down significantly depending on the advertiser. So while the averages are 16% reduction in cost per qualified lead and 21% increase, the numbers can be much, much larger than that as well. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Chase to just talk about some of the benefits of leveraging HighLevel for this integration.
Awesome. Let me get us to the next slide. Come on. All right, there we go. Okay, great. So first off, if you're new to HighLevel, maybe you haven't checked us out yet. Essentially, we are the all-in-one sales and marketing CRM platform for agencies, consultants, and even business owners. If you're tech savvy or maybe you have an internal marketer on your team, one of the really great things about running ads with HighLevel, especially Facebook ads, is that we directly integrate with Facebook lead ads. In a lot of platforms, you need to use some third-party integrator like a Zapier or a Make or something like that, but we integrate directly. So once you make the connection, when somebody fills out a Facebook lead ad, that data comes straight into HighLevel where we can automate off of it in our workflow builder. And we're going to check that out in a second. But what's great about what we're talking about today is that traditionally, if you wanted to send this data back to Facebook, you're talking APIs, right? And that is essentially developer language for communicating between systems. With HighLevel and the workflow builder, we have an action in there for the Facebook Conversions API. So literally, you just drag it onto the screen, you fill out the data that we're going to show you how to access in just a second, and then boom, you're set. It's sending the data back to Meta, and you are essentially improving your ad quality from there. The last thing I wanted to mention for folks who haven't checked out HighLevel yet is that we're fully white label. So if you are an agency or a consultant that's working with clients, you can now be the tool provider in addition to the services provider by taking HighLevel, rebranding it to match your agency, and then selling it as your own software offering. So we've got plans that cater to unlimited, our top two plans are unlimited accounts for agency folks, and we do have a $97 option for single accounts and for agencies that are just getting started. So let's talk about how we actually set this up. So first off, we actually, Hassan, do you want to walk through the first part of this because it's all on the Meta side?
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Yeah, absolutely. So to establish the connection, first of all, you're going to start off in Meta Events Manager. And you're going to want to click on the Connect Data Sources button on the top left. It's going to be nice and green, so you won't miss it. And you'd like to click on the CRM option out of the 4 options that you receive, which is basically highlighting to Meta Events Manager that you're connecting a new data source, and that source, as we discussed, is going to be CRM. Can we go to the next slide, please? Mm-hmm. Once you go ahead and actually create that or connect that new data source as CRM, it's going to ask you to create a new, what's known as a pixel. In this case, it'll be a CRM pixel. And we suggest that an advertiser creates a new pixel because this is what's going to be used to basically receive data in from the CRM. And if you already have other pixels, if you're already using other pixels, it may be better to have a separate pixel so that you can separate the lead ads data and the lead ads events for your tracking purposes as well in a new pixel. So you go ahead and create a new pixel. You can also repurpose your existing CRM pixel if you may have, and you're using, and you're basically pivoting from your previous CRM to a new CRM. That's up to you. But basically, go ahead and create a pixel. Next slide, please. Once the CRM pixel is completed, you've selected whatever name you'd like to provide to the pixel. You'll then go back to the data sources within that pixel and basically set up that pixel. So on the top right hand, you'll see a button called Settings to basically set up that pixel. Next slide, please. And that'll take you to setting up the CRM, at least on Meta side. So it'll provide you with the option.
I should jump in here. You're going to choose Lead Connector, which is the name of what we call our gray label. Because you can white label HighLevel, we don't use HighLevel as our name in the integrations area in Meta because that breaks the white label, right? And so we don't want you to have to tell your clients to connect HighLevel, and then they say, what's that? Lead Connector is the gray label. You can say, oh yeah, that's what we use to connect everything, however you want to spin it, but that's how HighLevel is listed in this database. So you go ahead and choose Lead Connector there.
I'm glad you stepped in there, Chase, because I was about to ask you to explain it. But yes, you click on choose your CRM, and it'll provide you with a field where you can input the CRM that you're using. And in this case, as Chase mentioned, if you're using, in this case, Lead Connector, you type in Lead Connector, and it's going to pop up the different options for you to connect Lead Connector. In this case, you select Lead Connector, and it's going to basically point you towards taking you to the partners, Lead Connector's UI, to go ahead and get all the required information in, create that integration before we come back. So with that, I believe, Chase, we go back to you to talk us through what needs to be done on HighLevel.
Yeah, so once you've taken care of that on the Meta side, we hop back into HighLevel where we head over to our workflow builder. And again, all of these instructions are going to be emailed to you with the replay. So don't feel like you have to take screenshots or write down notes or anything like that. You'll have this in your inbox by tomorrow at the latest. So we head into workflows, which is in our automations tab, and then we just create a new workflow. And at the top, we need a trigger. So we go ahead and add a trigger. This is what how we tell the workflow how it needs, or why, or when, what action should kick it off. And we're going to choose the Facebook lead form submitted trigger type. Once you've got that set up, the next action that you're going to create is an add or update opportunity. So in HighLevel, we can create pipelines. They can have as many stages as we want. They can be custom named, however you want to build your pipelines. But here is where we want to say, okay, we're going to add this update pipeline opportunity step, and we're going to specify, essentially what we're saying is when somebody moves into this stage, we want to fire off a conversion back to Meta. So here, when we add this action, we're going to specify the pipeline that we're talking about, and we're going to specify the stage of the pipeline that we're talking about. So going back to what we were talking about before, this is completely up to you. You define what you want to be a conversion, right? And so you're essentially going to have a pipeline stage for that. And you're saying, hey, when a lead gets moved into this stage, that's a conversion. And we're going to, we'll talk about it down here in a second in the status. We're going to mark it 1, and we're going to send that data back to Meta. So down here, we do want to allow duplicates in case multiple people claim opportunities. Same thing in settings. These are, allow multiple is just a setting that allows the same person to come through an automation more than once. So, we don't want people to be locked out of future promotions and things like that. And then down here,
sorry to interject. I'm noticing a lot of people were trying to complete this integration on the fly while you were sharing these screens. I just wanted to share the message that there is a detailed step-by-step guide on this. So in addition to sharing out the video, there's a step-by-step guide detail that walks you through each step that HighLevel has put together. So we can probably link it there as well right after this so that it's easier for them to follow.
Yeah, exactly. Just sit back, relax, and follow along. You'll get the instructions sent to you, and then you can go back through it at your own speed. So here at the bottom of that action, and I know this is kind of small, but again, you're going to get all this sent to you, so don't worry about it. We're essentially saying, hey, we can enter a lead value. So this is nice because let's say we're working with, I don't know, we used a dentist earlier. We're running a claim a free whitening campaign, and then the goal is to get them to book a cleaning. And we know that a cleaning costs whatever it costs. We can take that amount and we can put it into this step here so that Meta actually knows monetary value of the worth of this conversion. And then we set the status over here to 1. So pretty easy. We're essentially using just one workflow action there. And then after that, we add another workflow action that is going to, we're setting up a second workflow. And this one triggers off that pipeline stage changing. And then we're using the Facebook Conversion API action. So this workflow is saying, hey, when somebody is moved into that stage, we want to go ahead and send this back to Meta. And so when we use the Facebook Conversion API action, there's some data within it that we need to input. And we can talk about what that looks like here. So the first thing that we need to choose is there's a couple of different event types. We need to choose funnel. In the funnel event type, we're choosing lead event. And again, you'll get the screenshots for this in the instructions so you can go through it step by step. We choose the lead event type. Then we have back to our events manager. We go to data sources settings, and then we scroll down to where it says generate access token, because the conversion step, the action in our workflow, is going to ask us for this. So we go generate our token, we copy it, we take it back to the action, we paste it right there. So pretty straightforward. The field is labeled access token. You go get the access token, you bring it back, you paste it there. The next thing that we need is the pixel ID. So again, we hop back into the Facebook Events Manager. We go to data sources settings. We scroll down and we copy our pixel ID. And then again, we take that back. We paste it into our workflow step. Last up, we need the stage name. So we fill the stage name in. This is, again, the opportunity pipeline stage. And then we save it and we make sure that we publish our workflow so that it's live, and then we're good to go. So, this is a duplicate slide. We already did that. We hop back into Meta and we can test this out if we actually go to the lead ads test tool. So you can choose the correct page and the lead ad form, and then you hit create a lead. So the lead's going to pop up, and we just head into HighLevel where we'll see the lead in our pipeline, and then we can just go ahead and slide it over to that stage in the pipeline that we defined as our winning stage. And then that's going to trigger the conversion that's going to send the data back to Meta, and you can then go and see it in Meta. We have this slide here, but I believe, oh, here we go. So I'll swing this back to you, and then we'll talk about one or two more things on the HighLevel side after that.
Great. Yeah. So, I mean, these are all the things that we've touched upon here. Lead ads is basically, to sum it up, it makes it easy for you to reach out to your potential customers and also easy for them to express their interests. As we discussed, leads are great, but having higher quality leads that actually go ahead and buy a product is even better. And that's what this new integration will help you perform. And the best way to perform this integration is to have the conversion leads or connecting your CRM to Meta via CAPI, so that we have all the signals to be able to ad optimize. And then integrating it with a partner like HighLevel will make it much easier for you rather than having to go ahead and code it yourself. With that, I know there are a few questions out there, Chase. Happy to talk about a few that I think are fairly important.
Yeah, and I want to point out a couple of things as well, right? So we saw Workflow Builder in there. You probably don't want to just set up the ones that we showed you. We want to build out full nurtures, and this is more to the power of HighLevel, where when somebody fills out the lead ad, we want to send them emails, text messages, voicemails to get them to take the next step that's going to be the step that we consider our conversion. I've seen some questions here about in a post-iOS privacy world and all these types of things. We've got, we've had ad blockers for years, but this is what it's all about, right? We're not relying on pixels to send meta information. We are doing what is called server-side attribution, where, again, engineering language. In the past, you would have needed an engineer to do this, to take the information from the server and send it back through the API. With HighLevel, it's no code, right? You can just do it in a workflow. We're essentially saying, hey, I know a conversion happened as per how I define a conversion. And by me moving the lead into this column, I'm then going to send this conversion back to Meta. We're not relying on pixels, which can get blocked by Apple or ad blockers or any of those types of things. We're doing server-side attribution. And so that's why this is so powerful. And if we think back to the slide that we saw a few minutes ago, the impact of this is reducing the overall cost that we're spending for conversions and increasing the quality of the conversions, because the algorithm on Meta's side is getting this information and going, oh, got it. Okay, these 40 people were ideal conversions for you. Let me go find more folks just like them, show them your ad, and now the next batch of leads are going to be of a higher quality. And so it's sort of a, how do we call that? Like a circular motion here. The more high quality conversions we feed back, the better the algorithm gets, the more high quality prospects it's going to find to show your ad to, which means the next batch of conversions of a higher quality. So it's that flywheel effect of increasing quality and reducing costs from there. Yep, recording's coming. Don't worry, as our step-by-step instructions of everything that we showed you today. I see a couple people saying, oh, technical challenges. You can hop on live chat with our support team. You can also go to speakwithus.com/success to hop on Zoom with our support team. We're happy to help. Oh, somebody did ask a good question. On one slide, Hassan, you mentioned 200 being the ideal sort of minimal number. Was that 200 leads or 200 conversions?
That was 200 leads. So
cool.
200 leads being generated on a Meta platform, and then the conversions will increase. Each lead will have multiple conversions as they go through the funnel.
Nice. Great. And that's a pretty low barrier to hit. I mean, especially, I can recall back, we used to work with a lot of med spas. We were getting leads in a Botox campaign for like $5 a pop or something like that. So it was working very well back then. And with this, I'm sure it would be working even better. This does show up in HighLevel reporting. So in HighLevel, we have Facebook specific reporting where you can view all this information of how many leads, how many conversions, the cost per conversion. We actually do the math on the profit, I believe, and that shows in the report as well. Let's see, we've got a ton of questions and we're definitely not going to have time to get to them all. I do want to cover one. I believe we have one more slide here. We do. For hanging out with us today, if you're new to HighLevel, we actually have a little gift for you. Instead of the normal 14-day trial, you can actually sign up for a 30-day trial at the URL that's on the screen. So if you're new and you want to check this out and give it a try, go ahead and hop on a 30-day trial, and then you will receive a kickoff call with our team, and we can help you get this all set up. I will be at the summit if you're going to be there. Meta will be there as well. So we'll all get to hang out in Dallas if you have a ticket to the summit. Looking forward to that. Let's see. Can we let Facebook see our won leads in the past and get better leads after? I think you can, right, Hassan? You could export and import and feed into your Meta account.
That is possible in the future. That's something that we're developing. But for now, if you go ahead and complete that integration right now, we're going to be basically leveraging any events that are generated post-integration. Because there's some attribution challenges that we're working towards to basically get historical data, but that is coming in the future.
Got it. Cool. Let's see. What if leads are in one Meta ad account, but the leads are being distributed to many CRMs? That probably won't work. I could be wrong, though. Does the conversion API action have to tie back to a specific lead ad, or could it be in a different ads manager that you send the conversion to?
That can work. I think the question would be, Is HighLevel providing the ability to connect multiple CRMs today?
So it's actually, I think the example is, let's say I work with a franchise and I run ads to a landing page, and you claim an offer and you tell us the city, and then we push that into another sub account in HighLevel that is that city's account. And from there, you could then send the conversion back. So it sounds like it would work.
It would work. Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I'd like to use this opportunity to hit on a question that was asked about 5 or 10 minutes ago, in terms of somebody commented that this is basically meaning that we're providing our customer information back to Meta. That's not the case. Number one, these leads are already generated on Meta surfaces, so we do have their information already. But in terms of whether or not they've gone ahead and bought a product, the information that we're receiving back, we're not using any PII. So what we receive back is something known as the Meta Lead ID. Every time a lead is generated, a Meta Lead ID is associated with that lead. And so depending on which sub account that lead ID is pushed towards, as long as we get a trigger from that sub account saying that this particular lead ID was a new lead ID before and is now a marketing qualified or in another step within the CRM, that's all we need to basically map it to the lead.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we're coming up on the hour, so I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. It looks like we're getting into more technical questions, which we're happy to, if you want to hop on support, we can help out with that. But hopefully by now we have gotten to the gist of it, which is, if you are running ad campaigns, but you're not sending the conversion data back to Meta, you are leaving money on the table for your agency and for your clients. We can essentially help train the Meta algorithm by showing it who was a converting lead, and then it will go find more leads of that higher potential to show your ads to. So again, it's money being left on the table if you haven't taken the time to go set this up. It's just 2 quick workflows, 2 quick workflow actions, and automatically every time you generate a conversion, we will push that information back through the API for you to help improve the quality of your campaigns. Cool. It looks like somebody threw the link in the chat for me. That was awesome of you, Z. And should we use a different pixel for different kinds of campaigns? That I don't know. Ahmed or Hassan, do you know if that's the case? Should you use different pixels if I'm running one that's like a free teeth whitening voucher and another that's a Invisalign demo or something?
No, you can use the same pixel. I think at the end of the day, the choice is yours in terms of whether you'd like to differentiate the events that are being sent towards Meta. So if you use one pixel, you'll be able to see the events that have come back in, but they're all going to be jumbled up for multiple campaigns. And yes, while Meta will be able to basically separate them and ad optimize them for you, in terms of you, it may be a little confusing for you, but if that doesn't bother you, then you can use one pixel for multiple campaigns.
Cool. I've seen this other question. Let's make this the last one. If I'm running lead ads, but I'm also running, I'm collecting leads from a form on my website, let's say, can I send those submissions back as well?
So today, the way this is set up is because, as I mentioned before, this is leveraging Meta Lead ID. So those leads that have been generated on the website will naturally not have Meta Lead ID. So we're only interested today in receiving leads that were generated through Meta, and so we can get those back. In the future, we are working towards understanding or how to incorporate offsite website leads as well.
Cool. Okay, great. Let me see. Somebody said they're already on a trial. Can they extend it? Absolutely. Just chat with our support. Let them know you were here on the webinar with us, and they'll get that extended for you. Before we wrap up, could we please let Hassan know how much we appreciated having him here today? We do have another upcoming masterclass webinar with Meta on the messenger lead ad type. So keep your eyes peeled for that registration in the near future. but let us know in the chat how much you appreciated having Meta here with us today. Again, I think this information is gold, and it's literally, if you're already running campaigns but you're not leveraging this, this is going to be like found money for you. So I'm excited for y'all to go implement it for your campaigns. Okay, great. Hassan, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Thanks, Chase, for having us. Looking forward to working together on this and seeing all these advertisers benefit from this masterclass.
Absolutely. Thanks again for joining us. Stay tuned for the next one.
Take care.
Have a nice one, everyone.